All right, so welcome back to episode 2 of
Episode 2, we're here.
Start again. Welcome back to episode 2 of the FullBOOST podcast.
We're back.
We're back.
We've got intro music too.
I hope we have.
I hope it works.
We got a pretty good response on the first one, George.
Yeah, I thought people actually probably didn't want to hear too much about Suzuki Swifts and V6s, but apparently they do. So if you're back, thank you. I hope you enjoy this one a bit more, but yeah, it was good.
And if you haven't heard the first one, it's now on iTunes.
iTunes, yeah, we got iTunes registered. So
you got that sorted out?
I got that sorted out for us. So yeah, that's all sorted. I think we're on majority of the podcast directories now. So
yeah, and hopefully by the time you hear this one, we should be on the new Google.
The Google one.
The Google podcast.
Look, I jumped on that. It's not as big yet,
yeah.
But as any Google, I'm sure it will get there.
Yeah.
But the directory's there, so whatever format suits you, feel free to have a listen. And yeah, we're back.
And what have you been up to since I was last here?
What have we done? I think we've just been playing with a few more V6s and a few more RLSs.
I noticed your car's got a few more bits
Missing off it. Yeah. I've stripped it now. It's
not much inside it.
We're getting ready to take some weight out of the inside. So I'll probably get rid of all the body deadener stuff and got to get ready to start tubbing it. Four link it and tub it. So we'll start doing that. And then I sold off some more parts. Motor and box is coming out. The car that it's all going into arrived on the weekend too, so I'll start building that for drag challenge. Actually, he wants that sorted for drag challenge, so we might get that ready.
That'll come around pretty quick.
It will, yeah. Before you know it, it's here.
I know, we're already in July.
Yeah,
it's pretty scary. I don't know where the year's gone.
No, it has flown. Yeah, it has flown. Mostly, I mean, with you and me being parents and being busy, it flies, man, doesn't it?
Oh, because I sort of work. I try and take Sundays off, but
never happens.
Yeah, quite often I'm at Heathcote or an event or
doing
something. I did some recording actually on Sunday with Broomy.
Oh yeah,
he's got the Mazda 626.
Yeah,
so we've recorded a few more videos. But
how's that thing going?
It's good. The next instalment hasn't come out, but I might as well just say what it ran. Yeah, the last time out it ran a 946 at 147.
I was there.
Yeah,
I watched that. Yeah, because that was probably the last time I took. The last or second last time I took mine out. Yeah. When I pretty much ran the car. So I saw that 940.
Yeah, so it's done since Broomy changed the injectors. The car's been really, really reliable, to be honest. He was saying the other day we haven't changed the trans oil since we built it.
Oh wow!
It's done 45 passes.
Yeah, it might be due for a service.
So it's probably due for a service. Yeah, that car's going good.
It takes a little bit to get on converter though, because I was literally standing next to it when he was racing it, and it takes a bit. I mean, I'm surprised that the trans oil's still in there. It's probably changed colour by now, but if you can get that to come up a bit quicker, it would be nicer for the trans, I would assume.
I would think so. Yeah, but it's all fine tuning.
That's good. Because it's a relatively stockish setup, or not big dollar as such.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, the car's budget as. Look, we've had a bit of help from a few sponsors, which is fantastic, but there's certainly not a lot of money in that car.
Yeah, that's good.
Because I mean, the car was $500.
I actually remember that car.
Yeah. Dave McPherson's old car.
Yeah, it had the twin turboed.
No, it was blue and it had orange graphics on it and it had a 13B in it.
Okay, and then
it ran. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it ran a 9.9 with a manual box in it.
Okay, that's not bad. H pattern. That's not bad.
Yeah, and then another Dave bought it.
Yeah.
And he put a 20B in it.
Okay. Yeah.
And I remember going for a ride in that. That was 20B auto and it was light blue. It was painted light blue.
Yeah.
Then he painted it red, and that's when you saw it. It had the twin turbo V8 in it.
Twin turbo small block came down on my dyno day. Yeah, ran it up. Yeah, on one of my dyno days. Yeah.
Yeah. So
what did that thing make that day? I actually can't remember.
Don't know. I think from
about
memory,
300 kilowatts or something. It was on the 85. It was rich as hell. I remember.
It kind of was. The car wasn't really set up to do one particular thing.
Okay.
Like he did a track day in it.
Oh
with
wow.
the auto in it. One day I was there. I think it was at the Victorian Time Attack.
Okay.
I think it ran a low 10 from memory on the quarter.
Yep.
But Dave's more of a rotary man.
Okay.
So,
what made him go to a small block?
I'm not sure.
It's one of those things lying around.
Yeah.
Saturday night drinks.
Yeah. I think he's got an RX-8 now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but anyway, we probably won't have that car out for a little while.
So what's next for it, actually?
Oh, I think it just needs more track time.
More track time, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we'll change anything on it.
Yeah.
Just more boost until
it goes.
Engine blows up.
Typical rotary.
Yeah. He's starting to rev it now. I think it's about 9,000.
That's
so,
good. That's all right. They're made to rev, so keep
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just a shame, like you were saying earlier, like Melbourne, in terms of racing, it's just it's a bit frustrating. I don't even know when the next meet's coming up. There doesn't seem to be much of a calendar.
You got to remember too, we are in you would call it our off season.
Yes.
You know, I mean, the Calder was on last weekend or whenever it was, and a lot of people complained that the track wasn't there. I mean, the lead up to the Calder meet was raining.
And I think it was at midday, it was 7.8 degrees.
Well, our average temperatures have been around 12, 13 degrees for the last 3-4 weeks, man. Yeah. So you can't expect the track temp to be there. And
also, it's not raced on often.
Of course, yeah, because the Calder has a bigger break over the winter period. Yeah. They're on monthly as opposed to fortnightly, I think, during summer. And of course, summertime it's on a Friday afternoon, so the heat's there.
A lot of people hate that, the Friday night.
It is. It's frustrating because you don't have a lot of time,
especially coming from this side of town.
Yeah, our side of
traffic.
Town.
But for me, it's easy. It's 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and I like it because it frees up my weekend.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
People say to you, "Oh, you must love what you're doing." Yeah, I like what I do, but you don't want to do it all the time. And
no,
weekends is hard. And like you said, we've both got families, so unless you've got a schedule of events, you can't always just say, drop everything and say, I'm going to the drags this Sunday.
Actually, funny, I got a private message on Facebook from a gentleman who said he's created an app. I might look more into this, actually, and maybe might even pick his brain a little bit and see what it's all about. But a basic rundown was, now that you mention it, he's created an app which... via your location, tells you what motorsport events are on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually it might be a good thing. I think his name was Grant. I can't remember. I'll have to look into my inbox. But
that's a good idea.
Yeah, but he goes, all motorsport events will be on this app, and it will be based off your location.
Yeah.
And then all you got to do is look up and see what's on and what's around. So it could be anything. It could be car shows, meets, cruises, racing, circuit, drag, drift. So if that's the case, it's probably on a good thing and might be very handy for
especially in the summer. Yeah. You can have 10 events on in Melbourne.
Yeah, it's flat out. Yeah,
especially cruises and shows.
Oh, cruises almost every night, man. At least on the weekends, ananyway. And then you got your SNLs and that, which is a regular thing as well.
Yeah, years ago. I used to live in Mill Park in the north, and there was a Sunday morning car meet at a cafe. Not more than 2 kilometres from my house. It was huge. I never went there once.
It's always the case, though, isn't it?
You'd go to events that were an hour away, but not the one next door to your house.
All right, I think that's just human nature. Yeah. Whatever's close by, you don't go to. Now, last episode, we were talking, or we delved a little bit deeper into my background, and that was purely based off you being an interviewer. You managed to turn the tables on me and throw the questions at me. So I was thinking about it and I thought, I think people might want to know, or would be interesting to hear, how the juggernaut that is FullBOOST has come about. The juggernaut. Because you touched on it briefly last episode on the website that you started, which was boost.com, was it?
It was, actually, because I think I said I had a Cordia Turbo. And
yeah, correct. Yeah.
Long story short, there wasn't much on the internet in terms of, well, it was really only beginning back then, especially in Australia.
Yeah.
But it was called boost.com.au.
Yep.
And we plodded along for that for a few years. That's when we were uploading the Potato 144p videos. Now, to go back even further, I did graphic design at high school, and I didn't get in because it was folio based. It's not marks based, so I didn't get in. At the time, I should have done a folio enhancement course for a year, but schools, they just push you into uni. So I'd done work experience when I was younger as an aircraft sort of mechanic engineer.
Oh, wow.
Quite liked it, but I was told, you should really finish school. Apprenticeships aren't going to lead anywhere type thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Don't worry about blue collar.
No. So, of course, you do a uni course that I had no interest in.
Okay.
And basically about 4 months into it, I walked into the office and said, I'm dropping all these subjects, major, everything. And they're like, you can't do that. I said, I don't care. I've got no interest in it. So I switched into media studies.
Okay.
And they said, you won't earn your degree or something because the way you've done it. I said, I don't really care. So I did media studies and I did photography. Well, you basically did photography, film and television.
Okay.
And then I chose photography. I did that for a year. And then I never finished. I dropped out and got into the workforce. But that was how I started taking photos. We used to learn, obviously, on slide film. And
did you take any photos of any nude chicks?
I did, actually.
There you go.
More than once.
That's your other site, fullporn.com, is it?
Yeah, that's quite common when you're doing...
That's it.
Yeah, when you're doing photography, obviously the human art form. And
of course, yeah. Any excuse to see someone naked.
So I used to go to Calder Park and take photos from behind the fence
on naked chick
on film, and I used to send them into Fast Forwards magazine.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I kept sending them in, nothing, and then I think it was Rotomaster when Joe first had that Series 6.
Series 6?
It was blue.
Yes.
Remember?
No, it was the R100 first, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he had the R100 and he used to test it. Then for some reason I was at Heathcote, I don't know doing what, and he'd brought it down for a bit of a secret test.
That's right.
The Series 6. This was back when...
Actually, you know what?
No one had a Series 6. It was blue.
Yeah, I actually remember that. I actually remember when he brought it down to Heathcote, yeah.
Yeah, so I just got some photos of it at the track and sent them into Fast Forwards and they published them. And that sort of got me in the door there. And I don't know, geez.
Snowballed. Sort
of went from there. But then in 2000, we got approached by Boost Mobile, the telephone company.
Yeah.
And we sold them the domain name.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I see, probably still living off the riches of that, are you?
I've got a mate, an old friend, Daniel, and he used to say, you're living off the sale. That joke went on for forever. But we earned a bit of money. It was, at the time, I was broke, so it was great.
That's good.
I think in the end, FullBOOST is a better name.
Yes, absolutely.
Than Boost.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's synonymous with
cars.
With
generic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's good.
So then I just started doing the Fast Forwards thing and started writing as well. And before I knew it, I was doing that sort of... I wasn't full time, but I was doing full time freelance work for magazines and other people. I did that for a long time.
Because that was with because I know you've done a couple of write-ups for me on Street Commodores.
Yeah.
And was that Express?
Before
Media.
then, Fast Forwards used to be owned by, I think it was Federal.
Okay.
Back then.
Yeah.
So they had quite a big following, as you know, back then. Fast Forwards and Zoom.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, that's all I read back then.
Yeah, so I did that for years. I did all sorts of mags. It was really good, to be honest, that time in my life, because I travelled a lot.
That's good.
Went interstate, drove everywhere. I loved it.
That's good.
It's good when you're young, you know. You're
single, no kids.
Nah.
Yeah.
It was fun times.
Yeah.
Got some rides in some really cool cars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back then, because you were young and you just jump in anyone's car.
Yeah.
And B, no one was really worried about safety and breaking the law.
You never are.
No. Yeah. So, those were good times. But then my brother always did video.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're right, actually, because it's always been the case. I've always been seeing your brother at the track with a video camera and you in the distance with a lens and the still camera.
Yeah, so he's had quite a few video cameras over the years. And I remember buying my first digital camera in 2002. I'm pretty sure it was 2002. And I bought a Sony, and it was a 5 megapixel.
Wow.
In 2002, I paid $2,800 for this camera.
Jeez.
And it looked like a point and shoot.
Wow.
But it was like light years ahead of anything on the market because that was the first decent digital camera. I did have a few others, but they were just terrible. I just didn't use them. But that was quite a good camera in its day. I've still got it.
You've mentioned to me you still got a lot of your equipment, yeah.
Yeah, people going about cars. Obviously, it's never-ending money, but that sort of camera equipment is as well. I would hate to know how much money I've spent on cameras in 20 years. But
it's almost the case where, I know, like you said, the digital stuff was pretty horrid in its early day, but then you start going back to the before digital era and the film stuff, and, you know, people are still chasing that sort of look and...
Yeah.
So there's still value.
Replicate that look.
Nah, there's still that value still in it.
Yeah. Obviously. When you look at film now, though, even on a good camera, it's so soft.
Yeah.
Like, it's just got a totally different look. But I used to go to Calder with one roll of film knowing I've got 24 shots. And they used to say, if you get one photo out of a roll, you know, it's a good roll.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I remember taking photos of Craig Dice and Chris Dalton and that on the film.
Yeah.
Launches and that. But, yeah, one roll of film.
Wow.
And now people go there, it's like a machine gun.
Yeah, you get 500 shots.
It doesn't teach you anything.
No.
And if you take 1,000 photos, you're going to get one right.
But then there's editing as well. There's digital editing as well.
But you shouldn't need to.
Exactly.
I think a lot of young guys don't really get that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't need to be spending 24 hours in Photoshop editing photos.
Well, that's the life of filters.
Some need a bit of touching up, fair enough, but...
It's like all these girls with all these selfies.
Yeah.
They all need filters. I hate to see what they look like in real life. Then again, we've had filters. We've had the one filter, as men, we've had the one filter that's made women look good for a long time, and that's alcohol.
Yeah.
Well, I always say that. You don't need no Snapchat filters, mate. You just need the beer goggles.
Yeah, so going back to that, we've still got people find this amusing who are in the camera business. We've got 2 Canons that we run at the track. They're track cameras. They still record to a DV tape.
That's killer. Is that the one you were telling me about the other day where you're chasing the...
Yeah, so the problem is they were quite expensive at the time, and I'm like, to buy 2 more of them, you know, it's quite a bit of money. So I bought a Firewire system now that records from the camera into a compact flash card.
Yep.
So it's turned it into a digital camera.
It's digital, yep. Well, that's good.
But that's even still, they're so soft. But
yeah,
cameras are like cars. It's just how much money do you want to spend?
Yeah, it's like our tuning equipment or our
they're
tools.
Just tools.
They're just tools. Absolutely,
yeah.
they're tools. They're tools for your industry, I guess. So that was pretty much since then, because
probably about 5 years ago, I could see the writing was on the wall with the magazine industry.
Yeah, well,
because
paper media was.
I mean, I don't sort of pay attention to the side of the editorial side where how many they're selling, but it was more the case your pay rates just kept plummeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
was that because of their sales going down, or was it because of more freelance guys were like the competition in freelance?
Yeah.
Because, like you said, once digital cameras came out,
everyone bought
everyone bought something and would take photos, and stories and photos and articles, and that would have been easier to compose based off the amount of.
I think that happened after the downward trend in sales happened.
Okay.
Because their pay rates dropped first.
Yeah.
And then, people like me and other people sort of probably did less and less work, and then young guys couldn't seem to see. If you were going to do a photo shoot, I was going to shoot your car and give it to a magazine for free. You're never going to do that for a living.
No
because
way.
You've just lowered the bar.
Yeah.
Then some other kid's going to come in after you and do the same thing.
Correct, yeah.
But it doesn't mean you can't still earn money as a photographer. But there's so many people doing it now. Like, I'm lucky I got in early.
Oh, absolutely.
And I've got a good network of clients who I do regular work for. But I still do some photography, but it's more product photography and the odd photo shoot. But it's not my main bread and butter.
Still have a love for it, though?
Not as much as I used to.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fair enough.
I got out of it just as sort of, I don't know if you know what this light, they do this light painting, I think they call it. They kind of use a light, long exposure. Like, they might do it in low light, and the exposures could be, I don't even know, 20 seconds.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. Yeah,
and they run around the car with...
Correct, yeah, with writing stuff,
lights, and they light the car with a light instead of, like a strobe flash.
Correct, yeah.
And the results are just fantastic. It looks like artwork.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff you see, but I look at it and think, how long must you spend post photo shoot?
Correct. Yeah.
To create that. But if you're good at what you do, I mean, some magazines are still going to pay money for that, I'd have to think. But there's not as many magazines now.
Magazines around now. That's a problem.
I had a guy the other day ask me, have you got a contact at Zoom or Fast Fours? And I said, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, they've closed down for a couple of years.
But you know what the thing is too? Like, and you and me have talked about this for a long time. The magazine, the paper media was good. It was good in the sense where it's almost like the forums. It's good because you know that something you've seen, if you can't recall it, you know where to find it in the sense. You know, like, oh, there's an article or a car that I've seen in this magazine. I'll go pull it out of the closet and I'll have a look and it'll remind me what I was thinking about or what I wanted to know, right? That was the beauty of solid paper media. Whereas a lot of the social media stuff is flush media.
Yeah.
It's in your face, you see it. Once you've seen it, you can't find it again. It's gone.
It's very hard to impress people now.
Yeah.
With the way the media is, because there's always something else, 2 minutes around the corner that's going to be bigger and better.
Correct.
Or even if there isn't, they're expecting that there is going to be.
Yeah.
So correct. What you do is not that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is. It's absolutely limited. Like, I notice that if if I put something that gets a good response, you see that because when you get your what's it called through Facebook, you can see your amount of reach and stuff like that. So you notice it, and the impact is quick. So the first 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 is very quick, and then by the next day it's probably doubled.
Yeah.
But then it stops.
It stops, yeah.
It stops. Very rare that you can have something on social media that can just duplicate. I mean, if it keeps duplicating in the amount of people it's reaching, then I'm assuming it's going viral. And that's, we're limited to how much stuff we put on that is going to go viral because it's not the stuff that does. But regardless, it doesn't, it falls off pretty quickly. Now, if you want to find it again, how many times you're scrolling through Facebook, oh, that's a good video, I'll get back to it.
Yeah.
It's gone.
That's my biggest gripe with Facebook. You can't search for anything.
No, you can't. I mean, hashtags have been a great help with searching. You can every now and again find something, but I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, it's gone.
If you can't remember what page it was on,
no, you're cooked. See you later.
See you later.
And even then, sometimes it's not even there. But anyway,
and there's no IP.
No,
like there's no copyright. Basically, all your work can get stolen, re-uploaded.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? That's why I like YouTube, because they have a good system in place with the way they monitor fair use policy, and also you can't just go and upload someone's video. They'll terminate your channel.
Yeah, cool.
So I still like YouTube as my favourite for that reason. And you can consume digital media anywhere.
Absolutely.
On your phone, on your TV now, even an old TV. My TV, I've got I bought a 40-inch LG standard definition plasma TV for the 2005 Ashes.
Wow.
I've still got it.
The Ashes.
It was like one of the first TVs. It had a HD upscaler.
Oh, wow.
It upscales HD.
Yes, yeah.
So
I had a TV that done that, yeah.
Yeah, so I've just got a Chromecast. But
that.
This thing's got fans in it.
That's killer.
It's pretty hot.
That'd be heavy as hell too, that thing, for a 40-inch. A ton.
My soon-to-be 3-year-old, that's one reason I haven't upgraded it, because I thought she can't really... It'd be pretty hard for her to pull it on top of herself.
Yeah.
Some of these new OLED... have you seen those OLED TVs? My father's got one of the LG ones. Yeah. The picture is just incredible.
Yeah, and they're light as.
It's just a sheet of glass. And you can look at it on like a 90-degree angle, and it's black as black.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Yeah, that technology's come a long way. But so then back to FullBOOST. I remember we were talking years ago now, but you were telling me how your Facebook likes grew overnight or within a week by like hundreds of thousands or something. You were telling me a story. You were away, you were overseas or something, and you weren't keeping an eye on it. How does that happen, or how did it happen? Or
like you see now, I don't know, trying to build a Facebook, and this is the problem with a lot of these social platforms. I don't think there's a formula that actually works. You can tell someone do this and that.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
It might work for a week.
Yeah,
and then it's almost like an algorithm catches on. Hey, this person's doing this. Now we're just going to stop it,
shut it down,
or whatever. Yeah, we went to.
Were you at SEMA or something?
No, my mother had her 60th in Italy.
Okay, yes, that's right. Yeah.
So she'd hired this house. So I flew over there, and actually Geordie flew over as well. And we all sort of met up for this house and then went our own way after a week. And I remember thinking in my head when I left our Facebook page, I think it was on 27 or 28,000. And then I got there and it was on 34,000. This is just in the time of flying over there, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I must have had that wrong. I just must have had the number wrong.
Yeah.
And then a few days later, Geordie said, have you seen our Facebook pages on like 44,000? I'm like, what? I'm thinking, no, it was on 34,000 a few days ago. Because when I go overseas, I don't usually take a phone most of the time. I mean, everyone's just addicted to social media. I can't stand it.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I go away, I just turn it off, leave an email, I'm out of office, and I don't touch it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's
That's
a good way to be.
Every few days, I usually go and check in maybe, from my email or something. But
I think a lot of our generation's like that, and you guys can't do that, I don't think.
No. You actually don't realise how much you look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, our page went up. It was going up 4,000 to 5,000 likes a day. And it did that. And it went up to... I thought, if it gets to 100,000, it'd be good. So it goes flying past 100. Then it's on 500,000. And I'm thinking, these likes are just fake. They're fake.
Yeah.
And then it got to 697 or 698. And then do you remember a few years ago, Facebook did like a cull, and they said like, we're going through and cleaning up spam accounts.
Yeah.
And quite a few pages lost. So we lost like 25,000 likes overnight.
Okay, yeah.
And it went back to, and now it's still at about that point.
Yeah, because it's about 600 odd, isn't it?
It's about 680. I can't remember. It's about 680 or something like that.
690,
right?
I think I saw 697 somewhere there.
And I looked in the back end a while ago. I'm thinking, what's going on with this page? It just seems to go nowhere. It just, you actually lose motivation. You're like, what's the point in? You get no reach. You give them money. Sometimes it works. You've got no idea what's going to work and what isn't. It's like a lottery. Our page will go up 1,000 likes in a week, and it gets 1,000 unlikes in a week.
Oh, really?
Work that out. So it basically is just stagnant.
Oh, wow.
So now I sort of at the point I'm just like, whatever. I'll still put stuff on it, but I don't.
Well, it's still a big reach for.
The only good thing about having big numbers on Facebook, it's good for sponsors. Yeah. If you say, hey, here's our page, it's got a lot of likes.
Yeah.
A lot of reach, but I'll probably start uploading some more organic content onto Facebook. In the past, I've been a bit apprehensive of doing that because I'm like, I'd rather it be on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, you throw a load of your...
But yeah, obviously
YouTube links on Facebook.
You can't put YouTube links on Facebook in terms, they just go nowhere.
Yeah.
No one sees them.
Well, that's the thing, because people actually want to visually watch the video in Facebook. They don't want to have to click out of Facebook and watch the video. And but Facebook
essentially wants to compete with YouTube.
Absolutely.
So they want you to upload organic video.
Until they buy them out or something, and then a different story. But yeah. Oh, well, that's it. So that brings us to today, I guess. Pretty much. Or you and your brother have always been doing it together, though, yeah?
Yeah. It's always just been us two.
Yeah.
Some people still think there's only one of us. You should see how many messages. I got one the other day, and I sort of laugh when I read it because I get this every week. It's like, hey, I spoke to you at Calder, blah, 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 blah. And I just wrote back, you spoke to my brother.
Yeah, no, you usually look similar.
Don't worry, I don't get offended. My grandfather's a twin.
Oh, wow.
And I've got 3 sets of twin cousins.
Oh, wow.
But on both sides of the family. So, strange. I've got 2 sets of twin cousins, 2 girls, and I don't see them too often, but I can't tell them apart.
Well, it's always good. I'm able to tell. I can tell you and Geordie apart closer, but at a distance, I've got no idea who you are. So I just always say, hey mate. Just the arms up and just a wave. Hey mate, and I hope I can get some feedback to figure out who it is. But the video and the camera has helped. So if I wear that white hat. Oh, you love that Gilligan hat.
Yeah. Yeah, it got destroyed. Like, it fell apart.
Well, you've been wearing it for the last 15 years.
I found it. It's a Dallas Cowboys. It's called a Dallas Cowboys fishing bucket hat.
That's killer.
I found it online. I was going to order another one because I got this other hat, but it's just not
the same.
It's not the same.
You should get like an Ashes hat because it's similar. Seeing as you like Ashes.
Yeah, but in the summer, like everyone says you got a funny hat on, but I never get sunburnt.
Being a ringer. No, that's good. So that's
it's amazing how many people tell me that I should watch out for the sun.
Oh, I'm sure.
I've never noticed.
Like you've never noticed. Skin. Yeah, of course.
Thanks for the
thanks for the heads up.
And then they say that. Then you come back at like 4 p.m. and their neck is just a lobster.
Cooked, yeah.
And I'm thinking, you're telling me about the sun. Look at yourself.
The irony. Oh, that's good.
But every time I go to the track, someone comes up to me, hey, look, you got some sun cream? Because I know I've always got some.
Yeah, you have to. You got to be prepared. But sitting at the track and, that's the problem with being at the track on a hot day.
It's not enjoyable in the summer. There's no relief. You stand next to the track and all the radiant heat coming off and the car
absolutely, man.
And the rubber.
Yeah.
You get days where there's no wind and you just can't.
Oh, you'd be cooked,
awful.
man. That's the thing. You cop it because you're right there.
That's
too.
one reason, I'm not really into the burnout scene, but a few times I've gone and you just get sprayed with rubber, not to mention hammers your equipment. You wouldn't want to use a nice camera there.
No.
I think, I would never do this.
No.
Look what you're breathing in all day.
Yeah. Look, I don't know. I think the burnout stuff is a big following, big money in it, good on them. They're doing really well.
You can see why they've got a big following and drifting is because you got a whole generation who haven't grown up with drag racing.
Not just that, there's a drift meet or a burnout meet a lot more than there is a drag meet. Let's be honest.
Yeah, there is.
There is. Absolutely. The drift guys are. But then, see, that's the thing. This has always been my argument. How many guys do you hear about drifting out on the street? In all honesty, how many guys have you seen stack their car, end up on the news because they were drifting on the street?
Yeah, but then they're always referred to as drag racers.
Regardless, the burnout guys are considered drag racers too.
Yeah.
But from our point of view, regardless of what media tries to tell us who it is,
it's a current affair.
Correct.
I know they're going to get good views.
You look at the drift guys, and I know a lot of my customers that I tune their cars for the drift stuff. You never hear them, I'm going to go test it out on the street. No, they've got to meet next week that they've got to go to. There's some, I can't remember what they call it, but, they've got a drift meet on. Or, and you see it. They're always up on, because they plaster it on Facebook too.
Yeah, there's a Vic Drift meet at Calder coming up, I think, in week after next. I'll probably go down for a look,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The drift guys...
It's really well run too.
Yeah, correct, yeah. But that's the thing. They've got that access to that. The burnout guys, I think they've slowed down a lot. There used to be, I think, last couple of years, there was a meet on flat out. You used to see like UBC and all that stuff. And, I think when, what's the one in Winton? What was that one called?
Performance
PCM. When PCM was on, that was good too because, you had a lot of people...
You could jump in the car.
Yeah, jump in the car and head out, which is, it's just shame we lost Ethernet for that reason too. That was a really, really good event for our industry in our state. But, the burnout guys, look, and, we were talking about this earlier, doesn't matter, the burnout guys pretty much just trash on trash. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? They'll just thrash their trash. Do you know what I mean? So even if it's a VN V6 with 500,000 Ks, if they can put a municipal in it or weld a diff, they're going to go pop some tyres, and that's life for them. You know what I mean? They'll bang it on the limiter till it throws a rod. They don't care. And same with the LSs. They'll do the same. But they can go do that at some deserted factory, back streets, whatever, and that's fun for them. They don't necessarily need an event or a venue for that case. But what we were talking about before was the current situation in Victoria with the safe injecting rooms, right? And I was saying how I noticed a bit of a backlash on Facebook through the car guys who were complaining.
Yeah.
While government can give them a venue, but how come we can't get something because, we've been dying for something or whatever. And it got me thinking a little bit, because a couple of days later or a week or whatever it was after, newspapers and I think Herald Sun printed an article on I think it was on the actual front cover. They were calling it the Rejecting Rooms because they were thinking that, because we've got an injecting room in the CBD, all of a sudden all these druggies are just going to go there.
Yeah.
Well, hang on a minute, man. It doesn't happen overnight.
No.
Right? The people, the staff that were at these rooms said they got a really good response. They stopped, I think it was 40 odd people a night that could have overdosed. They cleaned the streets, 400 people odd came through. They saw it as a good result. But because obviously media got on the back burner and said, no, people are rejecting it because there's still people shooting up in the side of the street. Mate, it's not going to happen overnight.
No.
And the problem is that the same thing would happen if we were to have a venue for our sport.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen overnight because, like we said, these guys that have just, replaced their VN V6, they're not going to wait till this venue opens up and, let's go down and, pay 20, 40, 50, 60 bucks and go pop some tyres. That's not what popping tyres is all about. The culture with that is, let's go 2 o'clock in the morning, find some factory back streets and let's just, cut some hoops and shred some tyres. That's what they do. So the street racing guys may be a bit different. They might turn around and say, I've done this, I've done that. Might go for a test hit on the street, but we're going to see exactly what it does because the clock is more important to us, right?
Yeah, of course.
And same with me, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm more than happy. I'd love to take my car out on the street and give it hell. But I'd rather save it for the track where I can see what it does. So the fruits of my labour are there and say, all right, well, this mod or that mod that I've done or whatever I've just done or this tune or whatever has just, benefited me because I've gone 2 tenths or 3 tenths quicker or I've gone backwards. Well, hang on a minute. What I've done hasn't worked.
You can see in other states, like say Sydney is a good example. That facility, you've got, you come in left to the track or right to the drags. The facility's incredible. There's so many more race cars there.
Correct.
Because you have a venue to use it. Like in Victoria, effectively people are building race cars that are street registered.
Well, it's actually funny because now you say that, Victoria is very street car orientated.
Because if you just have a race car, how are you going to use it?
How are you going to use it? You've got to take it to Sydney.
Everyone's going this weekend to the Grudge Kings.
Correct. Yeah, that's going to be a good little meet. But that's what I think's the problem. We need to expand it a bit, or something needs to happen. There is that talk of a new venue coming up in Pakenham.
Is it Cardinia?
I've seen the one in Pakenham.
Is it Cardinia Council? Is that who it?
Maybe.
Or the shooters?
Correct. It's with the shooters. Yeah, it's with the shooters, I think, as well. But there's no designated. I'm going to say designated. They haven't mentioned of a drag strip in the motorsport complex. But I think it's a bit.
Yeah, it's in the
works. It's just it's a sketch, and this is what we want to do. So I think if anyone's involved with that, could be interesting to have them on and see what
have a chat about it.
That'd be all right.
Yeah, you just hope, because in the past you've seen a lot of things sort
failed.
of they just don't really get off the ground.
Yeah. But that's what we need. I think that's what we need. Something like Sydney, which the race car stuff is good.
But you've got Swan Hill now.
Yeah, look, that's good.
Yeah,
but still, for someone like me,
the only problem with Swan Hill, it's not the same if you've got it in a country track.
Correct.
Because you're not going to run a test and tune every Wednesday night.
No. And you're not going to travel for us 3.5, 4 hours for a test and tune on a weeknight. Yeah. It's a weekend thing, or at least a Saturday, so you got some time to come back on the Sunday and unwind and get ready for work on the Monday. So, but that guys are going super quick there because the track is there. Yeah. The track is there. They're putting the effort into it. I think I've seen they've got track warmers as well going on it. So yeah, they were heating up the start line. Yeah, that's unreal. That's unreal. Yeah, that's good. There can't be many tracks in the world with that. No. The only things I've seen with that are soccer fields in Europe to melt the snow. They do that.
grandfather's unit has, the
concrete slab. My dad's house has got it too.
Oh,
my dad's got it
in
too.
winter.
He
just
just
walk
leaves it
around
on.
bare feet.
Yeah, he just leaves it on full time.
You have to though.
Yeah, because it doesn't heat up that quickly.
No.
Yeah. I think if we can get a track, it'll be good.
But until then, as you said, until there's an actual track you can go and lay rubber on, people are just going to keep building
street cars,
fast street cars. And it's sort of amazing, people with these fast street cars get a bad rap, but...
What else are you going to do? I've stopped building a race car.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Street car's the way to go. Do you know what I mean? I've just started running the term, if it's not a real car, if it ain't a street car. Do you know what I mean? So
I've never owned a fast car.
You've been in plenty.
No, but what I mean is I don't really have any incentive to build a race car.
Oh, correct. Yeah.
As you said, even if you've got a street car, even if it runs an 8-second quarter mile, you can still hop on it on a Sunday, just go for a cruise. You don't have to do anything in it. Just cruise around, drive home.
Yeah.
You enjoy it.
Yeah. That's where the joy is, though, in the street car. And
saying that, though, one stab of that throttle...
doesn't take much.
You get your car impounded now.
No. That's best case scenario. The other case is, you lose control and hurt yourself. But I think
you're never going to stop people building cars.
No, you won't stop people building cars. And on the other side of it too is you won't. A lot of people complain because they're building these street cars. What's required to race the street car?
Yeah.
Right. So you've got Andrew coming in and saying, you know what, as a safety, we need this, right? And street cars are going super quick now. Let's be honest, right? An 8-second street car is very common. I mean, I know the guys that I used to go cruising with when my car was running. Mate, I was the slowest of the pack.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was in that group where, mate, I'm the slowest one, and I'm almost running 8s. You know what I mean? These guys are running 7s. Low 8s, mid 8s, high 8s, and then you've got this shit.
And you go for a ride with one of these cars on the street, and they accelerate that fast that you think if someone pulls out, or you think, how on earth can you brake in time? Yeah. And a majority of these cars are old. They're not designed, they're not going to pull up in a hurry.
No.
They've got thin front tires on them.
Or swerve. Swerving's the biggest thing. That's why I hate running chase cars on the front of mine. Because I'm like, God damn, if I have to swerve in a hurry, man, I've got no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But, and that's the thing, a lot of people are complaining because, if I want to race my car, I've got to do all this stuff that Andrew wants and it's got to be tech inspected. Mate, at the end of the day, you can't put a price on safety. Yeah, it's your life,
it's your life.
You want to build a race. Mate, I see it all the time. These guys are spending, very common with the V6 guys, and I tell them the same thing all the time, right? These V6 guys, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, I've done that. Can you tune the stock Delco? I'm like, mate, would you try to do something on your computer, right? Even surf the net. Would you surf the net on an old 286 computer, PC? With what was the modem you were talking about last episode?
14.4.
14.4. Like, would you seriously do? So why would you not spend that money? Right, you've just spent 5, 10, 15 grand on engine, trans, turbos, this and that. Why won't you spend it on an engine management system that's going to bring you up to today's standards? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's latest technology. You're running GDX turbos, right? Because it's latest technology, ball bearing, all this stuff. And you're running, super cool intercoolers because there's shit all pressure drop. But you want to run a bloody computer that, you tune on DOS. Like, come on, man. And it's the same with the safety side of things. You know what I mean? It's just like, you want to spend $100,000, right, on this super cool car, argument's sake, 100 grand. But you don't want to put a $4,000 roll cage in it that's going to save your life.
I guess the flip side is that people say they want to go to the track, so then you need a roll cage, but then the roll cage is not legal. So they got
the street.
Got this conundrum.
Yeah, correct. What do you do? That's true too. But at the end of the day, what else is legal in that car bar the roll cage?
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
I know.
So, but a lot of guys are saying, but I only want to race mine once or twice. Why should I have to go do the cages and that? And that's where you can get away with it at certain tracks that are ANDRA sanctioned, where you might get 1 or 2 passes and then they kick you out. But then it always happens, you get a taste for it. I want to go quicker. I want to go quicker. I want to go quicker. And at the end of the day, man, don't complain about the safety that is involved to get your car tech inspected, because if anything, God forbid anything happens,
Yeah.
it will save your life.
It's like if the first time you do a track day, first of all, you realise that you got no idea what you're doing behind the wheel. But after that, you realise I can't drive like this on the road.
No.
So then your yearning to do it on the road just disappears. Because, like you said, you think, I want to go back to the track.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And like I tuned the car for a guy the other day, and his car made good power. It's the best it's ever been. He's wrapped. It's back on the road. He's super happy. And as he was leaving my work, I asked him. He goes, "Oh, you're going to go give it a blast on the way home?" He goes, "No." He goes, "No. Just, mate, I've given it enough carry on the dyno. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'll wait till I take it to Heathcote and give it a run." I'm like, good on you, dude, because, he's actually a young kid. He's not an older guy.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
He's a young kid that has that mentality. I've always said it, That's probably why I can't come to terms with accepting the burnout side of things, because I have a level of mechanical sympathy. Right?
I know. And the thing I don't get with burnouts, we're talking the high-end ones, like the big competition cars. They're sitting in there with firstly, why do they got a helmet on? They've got a helmet on and no fire suit, and they're running methanol, and the cars are on fire.
Yeah.
And all I think is, at what point is someone going to get badly burnt?
Yeah, that's true.
Like it'll,
Yeah, that's true.
Something will happen, and there'll be a fireball inside the car, and some guy will get his face,
and then it'll be on a current affair,
burn up. And I'm thinking, I don't get it.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, that's true.
Their race suit is flannel shirt and Blundstones.
and then if we want to run an 8-second pass, we have to have a fireproof suit on. We have to have helmets. We've got to have all the gear. I mean, speed's a different story, but yeah, I think mechanical sympathy, as I was saying. Once you learn to appreciate it, and that's the thing, like I know with my car, right? When I had my car on the streets and on the road, everyone's like, "Oh man, it'd be cool, fast car." So, you know what, man? I just enjoy driving it from A to B.
Yeah,
cruising it. I know what it can do. I don't have a need to race it.
But everyone I know that's got a, say, sub 10-second car, when you go out, they don't drive like idiots.
No.
They just cruise around in them.
No. And I've always said that when you see those Hoon articles on A Current Affair or some guy stacked his car and they blamed it on drag racing. Has it ever been a high-end, well-built, popular street car? Whether it's a XYGT, with tubs and 20-inch FRs or whatever, you know what I mean? Have you ever seen one of those wrapped around a pole? No.
It's quite often or not. How many times do you see some poor bloke's got a supercar with a lot of power and they've never...
Only recently, last week, wasn't there some lady in China or something? She just walked out with a Ferrari, $500,000 Ferrari.
Out of the rental joint.
And wrapped it, yeah.
Yeah. That's more dangerous.
That's more dangerous. Absolutely, yeah.
Because I've never had a car that does something when you put the foot down.
Plus, there's a level of ego that goes with those sort of vehicles anyway. Yeah. But and it's always the case where the guys that are driving these cars have built these cars, and when you've built something, and this is one thing I've always said I'm going to do with my kids. Right, my kids are going to be old enough. When they're old enough, we're going to go out and we're going to buy a car of their choice, whatever it is, and tuck it away in the shop, right? And after school, they'll come. On weekends, they'll come and we'll build it together. Because too many times, and you can probably agree with this, the rich kids that turn 18, their parents give them the keys to a brand new car, and what do they go and do? They go load up their friends, they go get drunk, take drugs, whatever, and they wrap them. They kill themselves, they kill their friends, and it's the same old story, right? They don't have an appreciation for what they've got, right? What they've been given. So I've always said, I've got two boys, right? So they're going to get old enough. When they're old enough, we'll buy a car of their choice, tuck it away in the shop, and they will build it, and I will teach them, and I will help them, and they will learn to appreciate what they have built, right? So when they turn 18, and they get their Ps, and they jump in the car, and their mates jump in the car with them, and say, let's go. Mate, the first thing they're going to do is, you're not smoking in the car, you're not drinking in the car, you're not eating in the car, because I've put years of...
Well, to them, it's more than just a car.
Correct. Exactly. So there's a level of appreciation, right? Now, once they've got that level of appreciation, they're not going to turn around and say, I'm going to see how fast... They probably will, don't get me wrong. But they're not going to go out and abuse it like these other kids are that are being handed, you know, a brand new car because they've just turned 18 and God knows they don't deserve it, but their parents think they do, right? So that's always been my motto as a father, that's what I want to do with my kids, right? The boys, they're going to have their own cars, they're going to build it. And I was only talking with my 4-year-old today about it.
Yeah.
Saying when I turn 18, I'm going to build this. I said, mate, we'll build whatever you want, mate.
I can't believe how many people I see driving around in brand new cars.
VF Commodores.
Brand new bit of anything. And I think that's just so distant to when I grew up.
Oh, absolutely. I think finance is a little bit more available nowadays anyway.
But I mean, is everyone just living in debt?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. I would never want my kids to be like that, you know?
No.
If they can learn to appreciate what they've built, I can tell you, man, how many times I've jumped in my car and, you know, you go for a drive and it's just like some guy that thinks he's going to beat you is trying to egg you on. It's not going to happen, dude. Like, I don't need to prove anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm hoping my kids can have that same attitude. You know?
No, you build a car for yourself.
But back to the guys that are building these cars, because they've got that level of appreciation, they know the car, right?
Yeah, and it's usually not the first hottie they've had. They've built up to it over a number of years.
And God knows they've probably escaped many situations where they could have hurt themselves. But they're at that stage in their life where this is the car they built. It owes them a lot of money. And you know what? Even when the car does get out of shape, they know how to handle it.
Yeah.
They know the limits of the car. It's like me. If I was to give my car a squirt on the street, I know my limits. I know when to let off. I know when to get back on it. I know when to stop, right? And I'm assuming that comes with age, right? And being around fast cars. I get a lot of guys, you know, I'll take a car off a dyno, right? And, you know, you might take it for a little test drive around the streets and make sure it's all sweet before you give it back to the customer. And guys are like, oh, you know, you must drive some serious cars. And I'm like, you know, I tune them, I build them, but I physically can't abuse it. Do you know what I mean? So if a customer says to me, oh, it's doing this, it's doing that, I get a lot of customers, oh, you know, it's doing this, it's doing that. That's fine. I want you to tell me what it's doing because I can jump in the car and I'll drive it differently to the customer too, right? Yeah. And you know, there might be a certain part of the map that they can reach, I can't, and I've never felt it. So it's almost pointless me abusing the car or driving the car. But I physically can't find it in me to abuse someone else's car like that. And not just that, recently insurance policies have gone down to where you're allowed to do that, you know, where you're covered driving these cars. So,
it sounds funny, right? Every time I've had a rental car, I never get the urge to like
abuse it.
Sometimes I go out with people and they just got it in first gear on the limiter. 90 k's an hour, just limiter for 20 minutes. And I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe when you're 20, but now I'm just like, whatever.
I'll tell you what, there's a group of mates that we go to.
Because I always used to skits it because I was the one who always booked it.
So anything that happens, it's on you.
It's all on me, man. Don't break it.
No, there's a group of, me and a couple of good mates, we go to Queensland Jamboree every year. We've missed a couple recently and it's been a bit sketchy over the last couple of years, but I hate to say it, but we do the rental car.
All right. Do you remember that?
We pull over on the exit of the airport. We pull over. We pop the bonnet, we get rid of the air filter. The air filter's gone. We flick it. It's whoever can flick it the furthest, and then we bang on the limiter. That's rental cars though. That's fun.
Yeah.
I must be 20.
I remember that, you know, you'd throw the coins in those toll booths.
Yeah. Ooh,
and there was generally, because say Jamboree, there'd always be some other dude in a rental car, and then it'd just be a drag. Everyone would be doing the same thing, like four-way drag out of the toll booth.
Yeah. Oh, we've had some fun times in rental cars, I'll tell you what. But that's the thing. I'm probably more stupid in a rental car than I am in a high-horsepowered street car. You know what I mean? But, look, at the end of the day, speed is speed. You can speed in a freaking Festiva, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you can hit speeds in anything.
You can, but in my experience, the faster the car you have,
the quicker you want to
go. The quicker you just drive in generally, because you know, hey, look, there's a gap. I can just.
Oh yeah, exactly.
In traffic, you got a slow car. You just got to sit in the left lane and cop it.
Yeah, correct. But look, it's I think that's life in general. It's a lot of it's culture too. You know what I mean? A lot of it's culture. There's always the guys that, you know, when they're with their mates, they got to do dumb shit. But then, you know, when we go cruising with a group of cars that are quick. It's pretty timid. It's pretty cruisy, you know.
Yeah.
And you could be cruising a pack of 10 cars, and collectively there's like
$1 million.
Well, a lot of money and almost 15,000 horsepower. Let's just say, you know what I mean. Like there's a lot of horsepower just in a group of cars, and a lot of money there, and everyone's respective of what they've got and who they're with, and too. I mean, look, let's be honest, man. You get if you do anything stupid, it looks bad. Not just the consequences you're going to have to suffer, but it looks bad on the rest of them. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, now, this guy's been pinned, and now they're going to look for this guy and they're going to look for that guy because he was cruising with him, and do you know what I mean? It looks bad in that way, and it can wreck that sort of, I don't know, that little network. But
admittedly, I haven't done much of that in the last 5 years.
Yeah, see, I have.
The cruising scene, I used to do it a fair bit when I was younger, like everyone did, but the last 5 years,
it's harder to do.
It's
harder to do because of the hours that they're doing it. But look, every now and again, I'd take my car out. And you know what? It's just
and a lot of my car mates live out this side of town.
Oh yeah.
So now I live on the other side of town. So I'm like, I've got to drive an hour
just to get there.
Just to get there. Then we go out, and then I've got to drive an hour. So in the end, you're just too lazy and you can't be bothered.
It's easier to sit on the couch. Yeah, no, look, I agree. It's harder to do nowadays, being a parent and having less time on your hands.
I'm so time poor.
I think a lot of people are time poor at the moment, man. I come into the shop every morning. I'm like, jeez, what am I going to do today? Because I don't have enough time. I just, you find yourself working minimum 12 hours just to keep up. That's how it's been lately here, but
that's why I listen to a lot of podcasts because I'm in the car, or I was listening to one last night washing the dishes.
Well, it's actually funny because I had someone compliment our first episode saying they were listening to it while cooking dinner.
Yeah.
So I think that's the beauty of the podcast, and this is probably another main reason why we've sort of done it as well, because the target audience, it's easier to listen to. It's easier to connect with.
It is.
It's easier to connect with our target audience, I guess, because another mate of mine messaged me. He goes, "Thanks, man." He goes, "I had it on while I was building an engine in the garage."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it is handy because sometimes, and like you said, you love your YouTube stuff, but sitting down in front of a screen and watching a YouTube clip can be time consuming. Yeah,
well, all your attention's on that.
Correct. Yeah.
So podcasting, that's all I listen to. I'm really slack with. I don't watch TV. I don't listen to the radio.
I thought you love watching Love Island. You're all over that.
Love Island. Yeah. What's TV now? Live sport and probably some news
and
everything else.
Reality.
It's just terrible.
Yeah, see, I've been watching the World Cup lately, and I'm
You know what I watch a couple of times? Botched.
Botched. Yeah, you're saying you like that.
Oh yeah.
That's weird.
Who's getting the big rack this week?
It's probably going back to your early photography days.
That's the same.
Appreciating the human body.
Some chick's got a set and she wants them bigger.
Oh,
and then they've always got one normal story. The chick's got to get her nose fixed.
Oh, of course, standard. They got to throw that in.
Oh yeah.
Just to break up the narcissism. Nah, look, it's I'm the same. I'll get home at 6, 7, 8 o'clock. By the time you have dinner, have a shower, and spend some time with your kids and put it to bed, it's 10:30. What are you going to do? Do you know what I mean? Like, I envy the guys that have got time on their hands that actually get a day off and can do stuff, or even the guys that can sit in the shed. I actually miss. That's probably the one thing I miss the most. And, it's always come back to, it's probably one thing we touched on in the first episode, with going on about my past and stuff like that. And a lot of guys actually mentioned it was good to a bit of reminiscing about the old school days, It was because you miss the times that you spent in the garage. Late nights. Oh. The late nights in the garage would probably have to be the most memorable nights of your life, almost. Do you know what I mean?
I do nothing now. Like, I've got 3 cars. And, for example, they're all overdue for an oil change, which is something so simple. But in the back of your mind, you're like, it just turns into a chore because you realise I jacked my Renault up the other week, and I'll dump the oil in this thing. And my garage, where my current house isn't that great. You know, it's tiny, and I finally got the car on stands, and then realised I didn't have it. It's got this weird
torque speed to undo the drain plug. Yeah, typical Euros. All Euros,
right?
Man,
and I'm like, I don't have this.
Back there she goes. I'll wait till the next service.
You know what's annoying? When I first bought it, I changed the oil in it, and then I've taken it in for a service, and they've changed the sump bolt.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
they've put a new sump bolt in it, and it's got that. What's it called?
Torque speed.
I didn't have it, and I'm like, oh. And all you think is, normally like you said in the past, I just would have shot down to Total Tools, Bunnings, whatever. Yeah. Got the part, come home, fixed it. Yeah. Now you're like, I got no time. How come the jack stands? I don't change the oil. But just shit like that, it just frustrates me.
Yeah, I get that.
Not having time.
I'm the same, and there's an old Greek proverb that says, Greek saying, my old man used to say it to me. It says that the shoe man's kids run around with no shoes.
Yeah,
and it's the same with me. You know, apart from my car that I race or street car, whatever, it's probably the only car I put time in. My daily driver, oh man, I struggle to find time to do anything on it.
No, you're just changing subjects. Yeah. For those who don't know, we actually have a Facebook group page.
Yes, you do. Yeah, along with your FullBOOST likes page, you've got the group page.
The group page. And there's a link.
Is it closed or private or is it open?
It's open or public.
It's public.
And there is a link on the normal fan page. If you scroll down a bit, there is a link to the group page.
Okay, all right. So
members can put anything they like on there. We're pretty
we're open to some feedback on the podcast. We would actually like some possible topics of discussion.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we've got some guests lined up. We were just doing the first 2 episodes to as a feeler.
Yeah,
obviously.
Absolutely.
Now we've got a good response. Hopefully, episode 2 gets similar or better response. So now we're going to start introducing some guests. Yeah. We've got some pretty cool guests lined up. Yeah.
We've both spoken to a few people and they're all keen.
I think we'll have our first guest. He's pretty keen to come on. Also going back to the FullBOOST group page, if anyone is has an idea of who they would like or, for us to have on as a guest.
Future guests or
where you want to see us go, let us know.
It doesn't have to be someone, say, really close to what we do.
Okay.
If that makes sense. It could be someone it could be someone who wants to talk about electric cars, for example. It doesn't
I'm
have
happy
to be,
to talk about electric cars.
It doesn't have to be just about the stuff you and I are into.
Of course, absolutely. Anything. Yeah, no, automotive in general. Automotive in general. No, that's the whole point of the group. That's the whole point of the podcast.
So I do a lot of work with other companies.
Of course, yeah.
And it's been good in the last few years. I've got to see some very different things. You can't always talk about them publicly.
Okay.
Because some of it is R&D and
of course,
and the rest of it. You do see some cool stuff.
No, absolutely, no, for sure. So we are open. We are open to anything automotive. So we wouldn't mind some opinions, future guests. Direction. Give us some direction.
Have you ever driven an electric car, George?
You know what? I haven't.
Yeah.
I've been looking at we'll talk about this, I reckon, another time, because I know the culture's not there in Australia for the electric car, but they are selling Tesla electric motors and gearboxes as a package now.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, they're about 12 grand US, right? And it's an electric motor and a transaxle, right? So I've always thinking, and they're instantaneous with power and torque, right? They're unreal. So I thought, if the budget would allow, I would love to build a street car with 2 of those in it, right? So you've got 4-wheel drive, if you think about it, with twin electric motors making, I think it's about 200 kilowatts, I think, per motor,
I've driven
like that.
a P85.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe, actually.
It is, it would be.
People say, what's it like? Well, you can't compare it to a normal gasoline car.
Yeah,
it's
you can't, yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing to get your head around is that you hop in it and it's ready.
It's ready to go. There's no noise.
I can understand though, driving one long term. I think that'd be a bit boring.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you do lose a bit of its charm, but the torque is incredible.
Instantaneous,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've always been thinking, like, me and a mate of mine have been talking about it, because, these things, they've actually got a...
And a Tesla's quite big. Like a P85, it's got a huge back seat because...
Is that the sedan? Because what is it, a P85, and there's a 100 as well?
The 100's a newer version.
The newer version, okay, yeah. They look nice.
They kind of look like a Citroen, I think, at the front.
Okay.
Teslas, but that's just me. No, I thought it was... Look, it's an expensive car, but yeah, pretty impressive. And on the street, like I was at the lights a while back. My car was stone cold, and I had a... what's the one with the gull-wing doors? The SUV?
Oh, I don't know.
The new one.
I know which one you're talking about, the new one. Yeah, I've seen them, yeah.
My car's stone cold. I wasn't going to do anything anyway, right?
Yeah.
But this thing took off, and I was just like, yeah, good luck keeping up with that.
Yeah, they're unreal. They are unreal, and
because they don't wheel spin. They just go.
Yeah,
it's hard to describe.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought. Because, like I said, this company that does a lot of the EV stuff, they had these motors, and they've actually made adapters to power glides, so you can actually put a 2-speed glide behind them. Right? I think you posted it on the FullBOOST page the other day. And I think I quoted.
Oh, well, that was the company.
EV West.
They were doing some cool cars.
Yeah, EV West does some awesome conversions. Right? If you jump on their website, they have got some seriously cool stuff. Like, I'm talking power glide conversions for these motors they do, and then you can stack the motors, right? So you can put 2 motors together, right, with the power glide behind it, and essentially you've got a 2-speed electric motor.
I thought if you could start off with something light like an MX-5 that handles well, that would be a rocket if you could. But anyway, I think we should wrap it up
done.
there, mate.
All right, are we going to have some outro music as well?
I'll see what I can...
See what you can muster up. So we've got intro music, hopefully, and now we're going to have outro music as well.
For people who watch our videos, they know I'm a bit of a metalhead.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be some metal.
It's got to be something a bit heavy.
It's going to be something heavy.
All right.
I'm open to anything, so I don't care. I'm easy. I'm happy.
See you, mate.
See you guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.